We just saw.
The Patience Stone.
The Patience Stone. Thank you.
I need a Patience Stone right about now.
I guess we'll call it an Afghan movie. The director is from Afghanistan. The movie is the language of the movie is Farsi.
Yes. Yeah.
And Trace, what'd you think?
She needs a Patience Stone.
I think I need a Patience Stone right about now, but I was didn't love it the first 20 minutes, but I was won over and converted at the end. It's definitely touching on a woman's perspective, and I would recommend it. I'd give it a thumbs up.
All right, Paul.
Actually, I thought the beginning part was good. It kept me. This movie actually kept me up.
The beginning? No.
Really, the whole thing kept you up, or just the beginning?
The beginning part kept me up, and yeah, it did get a little boring at the middle and the late, but it kept my attention. I thought it was like, what was going to happen to this person? So.
The woman.
And anyway, I thought it was a very good movie. The acting was excellent, and yeah, I thought the photography, some of the parts were good.
Cinematography.
The story, it's I guess it's the life of the girl. So
it's very depressing.
All right,
and what happened to her?
We'll spoil it for you in a moment. But in general, we're not spoiling yet. In general, I would say this movie is for someone interested in the Islamic culture, Afghanistan culture, Middle Eastern culture,
and women's issues.
Definitely women's
especially
issues.
Women's issue in the Islamic world. If that's a special interest for you, then you don't have many movies to choose from. So go. For the general public who's looking for something that's entertaining, this is not an entertaining movie unless you have that special interest.
If you're adventurous and you want to go for it,
yeah. If it's for women's issues, you want to get pissed off.
I think this gets the women's vote all the way, but on a humanistic level, it's deplorable. And on a medical level, what did you think?
All right, so we're gonna spoil now. So shut off. You got our impressions.
Spoiler.
So basically the basic premise of this movie is we have a much older husband with a much younger wife, and the husband is comatose. He has been shot in the neck, and he's being kept alive by his wife. She goes to buy
serum.
Intravenous. They translate it as serum, but nobody would call it that. She gets IV fluids from the pharmacy, and they do show her inserting the IV. So that makes sense. That's what you want to do. You need to keep your comatose husband hydrated.
But
what's not logical, one thing is, I'm sure there's more than I've gotten, but one thing is when she can't afford the IV fluids, she does a substitute, which is kind of IV fluids, like some salt, some sugar, some water,
that's it.
and then she inserts the tube in his mouth. Sorry, guys, that's not going to work. So don't try it.
She goes all MacGyver.
If you're going to try something like that, you want to, try it, the nasogastric tube. You want to do it down the nose, get it into the tummy, where the sugar and salt and the fluids can be used. Just pooling up water in a comatose guy's mouth isn't going to help the guy.
This has been Jonathan's
so
public service
don't try it. Also, if you want to keep your comatose relative going, you're going to want to put a catheter. You want to keep those kidneys pumping.
Yeah, I was wondering.
You want the fluids in, you want the fluids out.
Okay, Dr. John.
I don't know. I guess he could have been wetting his diapers. She could have been changing. They didn't show us that.
He didn't have anything like that.
Also, the guy looked just way too. He just looked fake because he looked like he just closed his eyes. He never looked like he'd been starved for 3 weeks.
He looked like he was on opium, just chilling.
So
I think he was looking kind of waxy at the end, but yeah, he didn't look like he
had a good belly on him. I mean, he had plenty of strength.
Yeah, he looked like he was still.
All right, so those issues aside, so the basic mechanism of this movie is we are using this mechanism of a man who can't talk back, and the whole movie is a grand confession of this woman's secrets. Yeah. And so this is a mechanism to show us, to introduce us to the world of the woman in Islamic culture, a world that a normal Islamic woman would never
speak of these things with her husband. It's too intimate.
Clearly described to us.
Yeah.
So this allows her to give that description.
Yeah, and that's the, I guess the patient
Patient
stone.
stone
so
is him.
That's the analogy, or I mean the.
No. The analogy is that you have a stone. This was
The
told
metaphor,
on
I mean.
you have a stone and you keep it with you and you tell it all its secret, and at the end it crumbles because it from the burden of all your secrets, it just crumbles.
Right. So the interesting thing
Then
in
you
this
get
case,
delivered.
in this case, the patient's stone
It's her
was
husband.
he did not crumble.
Oh, spoiler!
We're spoiling.
Oh yeah. Okay.
He did the anti-crumble. He didn't like the secrets. I don't think he liked the secrets.
No.
And most guys
would you like
so
it?
so what are some of the secrets? Some of probably the biggest secret is that they'd had a patient trouble getting pregnant early in the marriage, and the mother was encouraging remarriage so that they could have offspring. Offspring is very important.
She would taunt her. And
They
be cruel.
presumed that the woman was sterile. In fact, it was the man who was sterile.
Yeah.
And the mother paid for some
Healer.
healing, and the healing basically was a pimp hooking the lady up to get pregnant. And so that was probably.
But it was a secret, though. I mean, that was the
That was between the aunt and
her aunt
and
had
the girl.
the healer.
the mother was not aware. The mother
No.
was only aware of a miracle.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Healer was a
healer,
The
but
healer was there just to
was,
pray, to
yeah.
pray for a miracle, and then the miracle happened.
So the actress is fantastic. The cinematography great as well. The big downside for me is too much of this movie. I mean, the weight of the world felt like it was on her shoulders. This woman is basically talking through 99% of the movie.
Yeah.
And it's just too boring.
It's a soliloquy.
I'm just tired.
It got boring.
I'm tired of it.
sometimes.
You got tired. Yeah, I saw you. Both of you guys nodding off.
You know, it's a commonly held fact that in cinema you want to show rather than talk. And this is a very talky movie. It's all talk.
It is all
Yeah.
talk.
So
It's for a chick.
I gave the filmmaker big points for a clever mechanism to kind of divulge the secrets of what it's like to be a woman in Islamic culture.
That's terrible.
I kind of take it like it's like she took it like a maze, you know, kind of winding it down and down. So you kind of was dancing around the truth of it, and until you got to the point, until the
They
kernel at the
dragged
end.
it on like
And so, in that
this.
sense, kind of teasing you along made it more a little bit watchable, I think.
It's definitely an edgy movie. It's got a lot of quiet, a lot of dull stuff mixed in with edge.
Yeah.
So one of the edgy factors is
A guy came by.
There's some bombing going on in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Everyone pretty much evacuates. People are killed, and the woman encounters soldiers. I don't know if you call them soldiers, but military,
Militia.
Whatever they are.
guerrilla kind of guys.
Yeah,
Militia.
guerrilla warfare.
And her strategy, she doesn't want to get raped because
Right.
she admits that she's a widow, and she fears that she'll be raped. And
She comes up with a clever story that she's a whore, actually.
that's her clever story.
That's her cover.
All right.
So that's a little edgy.
But she's not.
I'm a whore,
Oh.
and then instantly one of the guys says, you know,
He brings her money.
You're
Here's how
unworthy.
much, I'm
He gets
how
all
much.
sanctimonious on her.
Oh.
How dare you to be a...
But I was kind of surprised. At that moment, I expected him to get violent with her and stomp on her and things
Right.
like
I
that.
thought he was
but
gonna kill her.
He just verbally denigrated her.
Verbal daggers.
And so she had, this story that she comes up with backfires when one of those guerrilla guys comes back another day and showers her with money and wants a little
Bada
action.
bing,
'Cause
bada
he's a
boom. Ching.
And then she starts kind of this sexual interaction with this guy, and
Why
then
are you sweating?
and she kind of seems like she kind of gets into it, doesn't?
Yeah.
Don't you get that impression?
I did, yeah. Like she
Because
liked
she
it.
seems very sexually dissatisfied with her marriage, and this
And she tells it, yeah.
and this guy is more attentive to her needs.
Or she shows him the
Well,
way.
he's
and
also
receptive.
damaged, and they're both damaged, so they kind of.
So I'm very interested to hear what, if any, reaction or viewing happens in Afghanistan with this movie.
I don't think it'll be seen. It'll be like.
I mean, there's a lot of stoning going on there.
Anyway, so if you want a kind of edgy movie, Islamic womanhood, what that's all about, you got to see the movie. If you want an entertaining movie, don't see it.
It's not.
Oh no, it's not commercial.
It's definitely one of those.
It is, but I think it might both go for the
And
a
please-
nominee for
It's
the
the
Academy
women's
Awards.
vote, and it'll probably get nominated for some sort of something.
Subscribe to foreignfilmcast.com. We'll
Yes.
provide a button for you, hopefully. Ciao.